Welcome back to the vlog, everybody. Today we're working on the Bogan 32 for what I hope is gonna be like one of the last videos of us making this thing an insane weapon and a force to be reckoned with. This car has absolutely surprised, I think, everyone that has seen it in person, and even myself. I did not know that an RB20E single cam engine would be able to produce any power or run with such a big turbo. And little did I know that there are so many parts that literally bolt onto this, because at the end of the day, it is just an RB, just a different head, and everything kind of just matches up. So we've been very fortunate. We obviously have a really nice big HKS TO4Z here. We got a tiny small housing on there that helps it spill really crazy fast, but there's a lot of things that we need to fix on this. First of all, we gotta get rid of the distributor. We gotta go to a coil pack conversion. We're gonna put a link ECU on there. We're gonna change the whole wiring loom. We're gonna put an intercooler on it. We have so many plans for this, and we just wanna see if it's a reliable engine that we can set up as a drift missile at every shoe circuit and shred with it non-stop. So today, big makeover coming to the Bogan 32. That's hopefully gonna make this thing a reliable drift missile. So after about 30 minutes, we've pretty much got the whole front end disassembled, including the entire air conditioning system. Nissan doesn't make these pumps anymore. They're very hard to find, and if you do find them, it's the Heritage program, and they want like $2 grand for like the aircon system. So being able to have this whole front, like this whole aircon system to put into the other 32 four-door over there, we just freaking won. This car is paying itself off very, very quickly for us. So yeah, we got a good pump. Everything worked in this system. There's no leaks or anything. So we'll put some fresh O-rings and stuff on there. We'll obviously get a new dryer and things like that, so that this thing will be perfect. We got the RTX 42069 out of the car. We no longer need that. We got the headlights out and a bunch of other stuff. I'm still torn. I think I'm gonna end up just putting some like mini LED bars in the front on each side to just pretty much replace the headlights, because these are just such good condition headlights. Like there's nothing wrong with them. They look pretty much brand new. They look incredible, and we could just put those into that car too. So we'll see. I'll see if I can find another cheap set of headlights, but yeah, it just depends. Maybe I'll get some 78 Works ones or something. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, everything we took out of the car, and now we can start kind of putting in all the goodies. You can see that, look at that, all that extra space there. Weight reduction, we got the aircon compressor and everything off there. This is gonna be amazing, and I can clean up all this mess here. I actually kind of wanna, later on when we start messing around with this in today's video, I'm gonna take the timing cover off and just inspect that timing belt. So I'm a little worried. It does say it was changed at 100,000 kilometers, which wasn't that long ago. So wait, hang on. 97,000 kilometers it got changed. So we'll see what the condition of the belt's like. Well, these spark plug leads, everything's coming off. We're going to direct coil, guys. So we're going to take off this one coil. We're going to have 6 coils. We're going to get rid of the distributor and just put a little cap on that. It's going to be great. But first things first, let's show you some parts that are going in the car. We got a bunch of boxes here, but the most important one is this one. So this came straight from China. Obviously it's the Bogan 32, so I'm trying to do this as cheap and as Bogan as possible. So I bought the cheapest radiator I could find via AliExpress. Cost me $200. 3-row aluminum radiator. It's definitely not the best, but that's all we need for this because it's the Bogan 32. So we got a radiator. Next, we got up Yahoo Auctions. This is the exhaust. This cost me 60 bucks. I got a set of LS random cheap China SAMMIT coil packs. We're gonna be doing an LS coil pack conversion on this. I got a bunch of plug lines and stuff to go with it. It's all from SAMMIT. Isn't that funny, SAMMIT buying stuff from SAMMIT? So we got a bunch of these, so we're just gonna make up a bracket to put all these coil packs on. So that's that sorted. Everything we need to put an oil cooler on the car, catch can, I got some silicone radiator hoses, oil cooler, bunch of goodies. This will be going on. This all cost me, I think, 60 bucks, which is mind-blowing. This one was probably the most expensive one. Full Blitz intercooler kit for the car. Look at this bad boy. It is a return one, so the pipe goes along the bottom here, back to the one side, so that makes our piping a lot easier. You can kind of see it, we're wrapped up in there. Of course, Link ECU. We got the full package for this. We got the wideband lambda kit. We got the expansion harness. We got the air temp sensor, which just fell out of the box under the seat. All the goodies, all the goodies. We already put the Dishworks fuel pump in. This is what I'm hyped about. We have a full R32 GTS2 coupe wiring harness. This is gonna allow us to pretty much be direct plug and play with the RB20E and the Link ECU and not have to do any wiring, which is mind blowing because if you could find one of these used, I think they're on Yahoo auctions for like anywhere from $100 to $300, depending on the condition of it. But if you have a 32 GTS-T wiring harness, it plugs directly into everything. And you're gonna be mind blown about what we're gonna be doing with the crank sensor, the cam angle sensor, sorry. Because there's a really cool hack for that. You don't have to change anything. Wiring Specialties hooked it up. Dude, they sent us American candy. I wrote on there as a joke, I was like, yo, throw in some American candy. They threw in Welch's, family farmer-owned mixed fruit snacks. So I'll try those later. I'm a big candy guy. And some Good Days. You having a good day, Dikey? Yeah? All right, cool. So yeah, we got a brand new harness from Wiring Specialties. I'm excited to use this. This is probably the cleanest wiring that I've ever seen in my life. Probably the most important thing, while we do have an amazing fuel pump, the injectors won't be able to keep up with the power that this thing's gonna be making. So we got ourselves a set of 600cc injectors from Dishworks, and these will bolt straight in. What's really interesting is the fuel rail on this is identical to the turbo motor, the DET once again. They come with the little plug adapters too, so we don't have to change anything about the wiring harness. These just go straight in. So thank you Dishworks for sending us these. And let's get started. We have a lot to do and I want to get it all done in today's video. So I've just finished disassembling the distributor and check this out. In the back of the distributor here, have a look here, Daiki, zoom in. You can see here that there is the 360 typical, like holographic, I guess it was called, sensor. It's a little tricky with the power steering line here, but we pull this off, this goes in the bin, and then we have a whole new wheel here to put in that changes that to something way more reliable, because one of the biggest issues on pretty much RBs and SRs is that this wheel has 360 tiny holes here. And it's pretty much impossible when you get a bit of vibration and stuff in there for it to read, and you get a bunch of errors. So that's why we change it to one like this, which I believe is a 24:1. With the Link ECU, we just say, hey, your trigger is no longer 360 optical sensor. It is now a 24:1. So unfortunately, I ordered 4mm too big of a wheel, which is just purely because all the research I found online, people were saying that the size of the wheel in here should be the same as the GTI-R one, but that wasn't the case. Looks like it is the standard 50mm wheel. So if you are doing this, get the 50mm wheel. For now, I'm gonna put the 360 wheel back in, just so we can at least crank this and get it idling. We're not gonna be able to do the proper tune on it until we get the 24:1 in there, but I'll order that right now off my buddies at Drift HQ and get that on its way, so that then when I get back from the LZ tour, we will be able to pretty much tune this thing on the dyno right away. This distributor cap kit, I think it's a Venom one, comes with this little screw and washer here, and that's to replace that big bulky piece that was in there before. This guy, because this protrudes really far out, and we obviously want to put a nice cap on there, so we're able to convert it to that. It's pretty much a cam angle sensor by putting this little guy on here. Now, all we have is a big cam angle sensor there. Should be mint. Everything we need to be able to get this thing ripping on a coil conversion. All right, fuel rail is out. We're putting the new injectors in. I just wanted to show you old versus new. Look at that technology. Nice, right? And by the way, these are 800 cc's. I thought I ordered 600s, but we got 800, so I guess we got more room there if we end up putting this on E85. Best thing, one thing as well with RB20 DETs and these is the fuel rail is like that really small kind. I don't know if it's like 12 mil or even smaller or something, but it's a 14 mil into the manifold. Then it's a fuel rail, it's like that small size. So luckily these just bolt straight in. Make sure you get that dielectric grease on the O-rings and you'll be good. And this will just go up like this and straight into our intake manifold, just like that. Probably while I'm here, I'm gonna get the coil pack situation sorted out. I've got most of the engine harness removed too now, so we can also start working on that. But I'm starting to think we might not be able to get everything done today. Hopefully we do, but we'll have to see. This is probably the most frustrating part about this, is getting the engine wiring harness through to the other side. Eh? Did you already get it?
Wait.
What? Alright, well that's mainly because the NA car doesn't have the big fat plug there, I guess it makes it easier. But she's out, relatively easy too, and none of the plugs broke. They were definitely brittle, you could feel it. You feel they wanted to break. Alright, so now we get to start running the new wiring harness, and as I said, it's usually the hardest part, just because on the turbo cars you have this big plug, so we should be able to push that in and just kind of work it around. But obviously, being that this is also a wiring specialties harness, things are kind of a little bit more compact than what they would be from Nissan, so we're kind of able to probably use that to our advantage. And you can see they're using nice Teflon wire too, which is actually really good. I love that. But yeah, super hyped. We're gonna get this in there, get everything hooked up. We should be met. Yo, American candy is the best. You can send me this stuff anytime. We have the PO box, well, the address for the SAMMIT HQ on our website, sammit.net. So you guys can just send us packages like this all the time. I want to start doing mail time videos. I think that'll be cool. So if you want to send us something, the address is on sammit.net on the contact page. These are good. But since we're talking about sammit.net, don't forget on Friday, the 12th, 4 p.m. EST, that's this Friday, 4 p.m. EST, we are dropping the new Bogan 32 shirts and the Scrape or Die shirts. So don't miss out on that. And now let's get back to the car. So this is where we're at with running the harness. Everything has just plugged in. Nothing is different. I am completely mind blown. It is absolutely amazing. And the best thing is because we told Wiring Specialties that I'm going to be using a Link ECU, everything is already in the harness and I don't have to run the expansion harness. IoT sensor plug is here. They deleted the MAF plug. I even have boost solenoid plug here with a pigtail, so I can just connect this straight away to the boost solenoid I'm going to run with the wastegate. Everything is here. And I told them I was going to be running LS1 coil packs. They changed the harness to the LS coil plugs. So how sick is that? And we obviously no longer have an igniter or anything, because I don't want to have to deal with any igniter stuff with the stock RB20 stuff. Now, I was planning on making some kind of bracket or stay to have all the LS coil packs on the top of the engine. But I was like, you know what, that's gonna get in the way of all the piping we're gonna run, because we gotta come straight out of the throttle body here and go down there. And then I was just like playing around, and at first I was like, man, there's so much space under the intake manifold, why don't I just like zip tie all the coil packs there? But not enough space, and two, it would be very difficult if we needed to change a coil pack. But I decided it just seems like there's so much space under the intake manifold, and I'm just running the leads. And by the way, these are all just LS leads, and they just go straight in perfectly, and the cables run under the intake manifold. Like no problem at all. So I'm gonna make some kind of bracket, and if you have a look in here, you can just see all the coil packs are hanging here right now, right? If I just make some kind of bracket that goes into any one of these bolt holes on the bottom of the intake manifold that supports all of these, even with just zip ties or something, I'd like to use bolts, so I'll see what I can fab up. And we've got LS coil packs converted, and we've already got the harness made, and that reaches to all of them under there too. So we're ready to rip. It's great. Like it's crazy how much this is identical to just a normal other RB engine. Even here, there was a little bracket on this intake manifold right here that would support the original coil pack. You take all those brackets off, and then you have your grounds just like you would on any other RB intake manifold. So these just bolt straight on there. I cleaned it with a wire brush and put new bolts in, so it should be mint. It's seriously like so easy. I can't get over we're using a single cam RB20 head and everything is just plugged in. And the one most important one is the cam angle sensor plug just went straight on, not a single issue. So it worked exactly as I thought it would. I'm so hyped. I can't wait till we can get the real 24/1 wheel in there, because then that's when we'll be able to start making power on the dyno. More people need to do this. If this turns out like this makes decent power and doesn't blow up for like a year or 2 or 3, more people definitely need to do this, especially to anyone who has a C35 Lorel. Those cars are like, now I think I saw one for $500 with this engine in it. Spend 3-4 grand on it, and all of a sudden you have like a sub $5 grand missile that you can shred. Like, it's not that hard to find a transmission for these. You can get an SR one with the RB bell housing, slap it all together and make it work. You guys have seen, I literally had most of this stuff lying around that slapped on here. And if this works, I think Lorel's about to go up in value probably. Also Ceferos, you can do this with Cephis. Cephis came with this engine. It's just cool because this engine is seriously a $50 engine. And if this turns out to make 300 horsepower and hold it, I'll be happy. I think that's more than enough for a missile. So I'm really excited to see where this is going. But it is 8:30 p.m. I'm tired. We're gonna get back to this tomorrow morning.
No, you're working on an RV when you have blood in your fingers.
Blood, sweat, and tears, man. So we got some big updates. Most of the stuff has been done, except obviously we don't have the front mount intercooler or the intercooler piping. That's gonna take a bit of time because we gotta get the piping all like fabbed up. But new radiator is in. We have all the new radiator hoses in. We have the new wiring harness all hooked up. And by the way, the only plug, 2 plugs that were different, and that's just because the IAT sensor turned out to be a different model one than the one that I told Wiring Specialties I was going to get. And the only other plug that was different was the main TPS here on the throttle body seems to be just a slightly different plug. So obviously we have the old wiring harness here, super quick and easy to unpin that. And I was able to just switch it into the correct plug. The plugs honestly look the same. It's just the little like channels that go into the slots on the plug were like a millimeter off, and that's just because of the different iterations of this particular sensor. There's a few differences between like Series 1, Series 2, Series 3 and things like that. Well, actually there is no Series 3, it's like the Chuki in the middle. By the way, Zenki Series 1, Chuki in between 1.5, and Koki or Kuki is Series 2. There's no third revision. It's weird. It's weird. Technically, Koki would be the third revision.
Yes, Sam.
But anyways,
anyways.
Back onto this.
Yeah.
Everything's set up, so we should be good to pretty much. I've also got the link already installed. We should be able to start configuring everything in the link ECU and maybe get this thing to crank and run. I don't know, question mark. We'll see. Also, ignore this hose. I didn't have long enough proper silicone hosing, so I went to the home center and just grabbed some, aquarium hose for now.
And of course you pick pink.
I mean, it just happened to be pink, but it's just aquarium like plastic hose that I will be changing to proper black silicone hosing that doesn't like squash and stuff under heat. But for now, that'll be enough for us to get this thing cranking and maybe idling. Radiator went in really smooth. These cheap 3-row radiators, they're really not that bad. They're pretty decent and good for a good drift missile. So that went in there. Obviously, this is all done. Everything's pretty much good wiring wise. I've just got the coil packs dangling under the intake manifold for the current point in time, but I will be mounting them down there. I'm gonna make a bracket that bolts into the bottom of the manifold here and will support all of the LS coils there. But for now, this is more than enough for us to just crank it and get it running. Should be fine. Yeah, I think that's everything. We can give this thing positive. I'll get a little jump pack on here as well. We've got no leaks. I've already bled the coolant, filled that up, opened up the bleed port, everything flowed through. We should be good. We should be real good. I don't think there's anything I'm missing. I'm just like paranoid that I've missed something and completely forgotten about something, but I'm checking over everything and I think we're good. I think I'm just freaking out. I think we might be good. So I'm gonna plug into the link ECU, configure this thing as if it's like a GTST R32 Skyline, and see if it'll crank. I do need to do some stuff with the injectors and put in the dead times and stuff like that, but for the most part, I think we're ready.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
Stop. That's a little too much. Just a little. I'm just trying to get in the right spot.
3, 2, 1.
One more. One more. Okay. I'm gonna shut this off. On. Fuel pump's priming. Way too easy. We are on a Link NGTR ECU, plug-in ECU. It thinks it's an R32 GTST dual cam, but it's a single jingle. I'm not joking. Like, it thinks we have 2 camshafts, but it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But this is like out of the box. I plugged everything in and it's worked. Pretty mind blown right now. The only thing that I've realized is this TPS. Remember when I said we had to change the plug? That's because this is an auto TPS and it seems like it doesn't have as much resolution as what a manual TPS does. So I am going to be changing that to a manual TPS so that we get more resolution, because in an automatic car, I remember someone telling me once that the TPSs, now I could be wrong, but for some reason after 50% throttle, it just goes straight to 100. Doesn't matter how I calibrate it, how I rotate it here. Either the TPS might be faulty, or I think someone told me at some point in my life that the automatic TPSs have some weird resolution thing. So I'm gonna get a different TPS and that'll solve our problem. But otherwise, she's running. Look at this, like right here. There's no distributor here anymore. It's operating as a cam angle sensor. It plugged into the same plug that comes on an RB20 DET. And look at all the coil packs down here. It's all just LS coil packs. Listen to how smooth this is running. We're on 800cc injectors, IAT sensors here, map sensors here. Like if I squeeze this hose, it'll kill it. See that? Hear the difference in the engine? Because of the hose, if you squeeze it. Oh, send the paper out. That's my silencer. Put that back in there. Well guys, I think that's mission accomplished. I honestly was not expecting to get this thing running by the end of this video. Halfway through, I was like, man, there is a lot to get done, and Daikie's got some time off right now, so it's just been me today wrenching on this thing. But we got it done. We got it done, and it feels so good to have this thing idling. Obviously, we got to figure out the TPS thing. I'm pretty sure we just got to put a GTST one on there, and that'll solve that. And then we got to make a bracket for the coil packs. We got to get the intercooler on. We got to get the intercooler piping situated, and we got to re-notch this a little so that it all fits. And then we got to get the exhaust done, and we're ready to rip. Like this thing, I still can't believe how easy it was. Like literally, I looked at this thing and I was like, there's no way all this will bolt on, right? And every single like moment of everything, like of me wanting to do stuff to this, any modifications, it all just went on like it was a normal RB. And this just further proves it. And I'm really excited. I cannot wait to see what this is going to give us. Bear in mind, it is an NA engine, but this particular RB20E, because it's the single cam one, had a much lower compression than the DE ones with the twin cams. So it gives us a lot more headroom for a bit more ignition timing and stuff. And obviously the fuel here in Japan is much better than it is elsewhere in the world. So we get a much higher octane rating here, and it's a lot cleaner and healthier for the engine. So we shouldn't ping too bad. And we can obviously dial that in with the Link ECU. I don't know why I pointed over there. The computer's not there anymore, but yeah. I'm still mind blown. I'm completely mind blown that this thing, it runs so good too. And I cannot wait to hear how it's gonna run when we change that trigger wheel in there. Right now we still got the 360 one on there. And I've already ordered the 24:1 for the correct size. That will arrive probably by the time I get back from the LZ tour. May's here hanging out with Hugo. He's just sleeping, which by the way, he fully asleep during all that revving and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was covering his ears, but I think
he likes the sound of cars. I think because like while he was in your in the womb, he was such a weird thing to say. While he was in the womb, he was obviously at drift events, track events, FD and stuff, and I think he just got accustomed to the car sounds and revs and exhaust.
He was like,
yeah, it almost put him to sleep, that noise. But yeah, I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. This has been a really fun experiment, and everything just keeps kind of going too easy. And I'm wondering at what point, when is it going to get hard? But yeah, I'm excited. I think this is going to be a really cool build. And yeah, I don't know.
Me drift again?
Yeah, you can drift this. It's set up for it. It's got a bulletproof box.
You didn't switch out the brakes and the accelerator, right?
What do you mean the brakes and the accelerator?
So this one is very...
Oh no, we still have the automatic brake pedal.
Oh, yeah,
I don't have the clutch pedal in there yet. Yeah, I need to put the clutch pedal and the master and stuff in. There's still that. We have the manual transmission in there, but no clutch pedal yet. Yeah, there's a few things we need to work on this and get this thing finished, but it's running.
It's running.
And it's on... Dude, I still can't believe this. This is mind blowing. I still can't believe this. I'm sure a lot of you guys already know, but we are going to be heading to the US tomorrow. We're going to be heading over to New Jersey for the E-Town event with Adam's LZ tour. Really excited to meet some of you guys there, so make sure you all come and say hello. I'm really excited. We're going to be driving, finally, a different car for one of these events, and it makes a lot of power, and it has 8 cylinders, so I'm really excited about that. Tune in for the next video while I head over there and we start test driving that, and I show you guys my whip for the LZ tour. Hopefully we do well in the comp, but I never even care about the competition side of things. I'm just happy to hang out with my friends and have a good time and drive together and push each other. Left-hand driving is definitely something that I'm still getting used to. So it's gonna be really fun driving something with power that's set up and is left-hand drive. So I don't know, we'll get more comfortable and then it'll just make me a better driver overall. With that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Don't forget SAMMIT.net on the 12th, Friday, 4 p.m. EST. You don't want to miss out on that drop, the new Scrape or Die, and the Bogan 32 merch. This thing's going to be shooting flames bigger than it ever have before. See you in the next one, guys. Peace.